Are you stuck in a financial rut? Do you want to make more money, grow your business, or achieve a breakthrough goal? Well, unless you expand your financial comfort zone, you're likely to stay stuck right where you are. In this video, we talk strategies for elevating your financial game and achieving your goals. Plus, I'm going to give you 3 tips for expanding your financial comfort zone coming up. Hey, I'm Dr. Brad Klontz. On this channel, we look at the best strategies to help you transform your relationship with money, master the psychology of wealth, and live a life of abundance. So check out the links and the resources in the show notes below, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. So let's get started. I'll never forget the day I was in Chile, where I had been for several weeks, and I ran into another American. Wow, I gotta tell you, I felt an instant sense of relief. After spending weeks interacting with people from a different culture, here I was with really a total stranger, but I felt an instant connection. We shared the same language, the same nonverbal gestures, and the same general understanding of the world. It felt so comfortable. That experience really illustrated for me how deeply I'm attracted to people, well, like me. And even though I went through a lot of effort to expose myself to a different culture, it taught me how stressful it is to learn to operate in a new culture. At times it felt exhausting and like my brain hurt as I was trying to take it all in, and I felt a pull to what was known and familiar. The stress involved in change, combined with the comfort of staying with the familiar, are very powerful forces. Unless we push ourselves, we have a tendency to stay right where we are. Even when circumstances aren't great, at least they're predictable and familiar. So how does this tendency to stay in our comfort zone, doing what is known and comfortable, how does this impact our financial lives? Quite profoundly, it turns out. Socioeconomic status is a huge part of a person's identity. Have you ever been to a party and realized that most of the people in the room had much more money than you did? Did you feel out of place or uncomfortable? Did you even question your right to be there? It's stressful when we move away from what feels normal. For example, if we start making a lot more money than our friends, it increases our anxiety and we worry, what will they think about us? Will they treat us the same? Will they judge us? When the gap widens even further, it can make simple things like who pays for dinner or traveling together very hard. It can be so uncomfortable for people to move to a higher socioeconomic group that they end up sabotaging themselves. They don't have to deal with being too different or being kicked out of their group. As a result, there is huge psychological pressure for us to stay right where we are. This helps explain why so many lottery winners, professional athletes, and entertainers blow their money. They feel that they're undeserving or guilty about making more than those they love. In fact, research shows that instead of being totally stoked after making tons of money quickly, months and years after the fact, many feel quite lonely or depressed. So if you want to increase your net worth or income, you're probably going to need to learn a new approach. For example, if you wanted to learn more about investing, how helpful is it going to be to talk to your Uncle Bob, who's never invested himself? Uncle Bob is very likely to tell you how difficult or impossible it is. If you want to write a book someday, talk to a published author about how to do it. If you talk to your friend Sheila for her advice, Sheila who's never written a book, it's possible she might chuckle or roll her eyes at you or give you that feeling, who do you think you are? When the people around you, the people that you love, believe something's impossible, it's very difficult to achieve the goal. It's much better to talk to somebody who's already achieved it or is further along the path than you are. They know it's possible and they can point you in the right direction. So if you want to make a quantum leap in your finances, your business, or other goals, you need to expand your financial comfort zone. So here are 3 tips for expanding your financial comfort zone. Tip number 1, make yourself uncomfortable. If you want to make more money, like you're considering charging more for hourly services or asking for a raise, think about what number you're comfortable with. Seriously, go ahead. Pause the video and do it now. Okay, do you have it? Now go ahead and double it. Feeling uncomfortable yet? Good! If you want to make more money, you need to start thinking differently. Now, I'm a big proponent of being reasonable, with the caveat that I don't think you should trust what you think is reasonable. So do some research and look what other people are getting paid in your field and start with a higher number than feels comfortable. For example, I put a ton of effort into becoming a good public speaker. How am I doing? I spent years practicing and giving free speeches. Yes, giving free speeches. I wanted to make sure people felt great paying me to speak. So it's important that I did whatever I could do to become great, and I definitely put in the time. Over the years, I've raised my speaking fees about 5 times. Now here's the truth. Each and every time it is so difficult. I worry that people will balk, will think, who does this guy think he is, or that I'll never get any business again. However, this hasn't happened. Man, I should probably increase them again. With each increase, I actually had to spend time practicing saying the number out loud, in private of course, and I definitely made sure I did my market research. But I work hard, and I still work hard to not let that internal "who do you think you are" voice keep me stuck. So take a risk and make yourself feel uncomfortable. Tip number 2, get a mentor. Oh yeah, and start local. Now I say start local because don't go sending Tony Robbins an email and get all discouraged when he doesn't meet you for coffee. He's a busy guy and he doesn't know you. But nowadays, you can start by listening to podcasts, watching YouTube channels like this one, and reading books. When I wanted to increase my value as a public speaker, I read several books written by professional speakers, and I picked the brains of people who were at the top of their fields, speaking for money. But my favorite approach is to find someone who is a step or two ahead of you, whose brain you can pick. You need to learn what they know, their beliefs about what's possible, and their strategies. These people are often in your life already, or maybe the friend of a friend. Perhaps it's your boss at work, or a successful aunt or uncle. Ask this person to coffee and pick their brains. How did they get where they are? What do they wish they had done differently? What piece of advice would they give someone at your stage of the game? You'll be surprised at how receptive mentors are to sharing their wisdom and experience with you. Then as you grow, find new mentors and learn from them. Tip number 3, get help. In one of our studies on the psychology of wealth, we found that when compared to middle-class folks, the wealthy are much more likely to admit that they don't know things and to have a team of professionals to help them. This can be so hard for people who didn't grow up in a culture of wealth. For the wealthy, it's a no-brainer that you're going to have a financial advisor, a business coach, an attorney, or a CPA. However, for us do-it-yourself descendants of farmers, the idea of outsourcing anything can seem expensive or downright lazy. But it is critical if you want to join the ranks of the wealthy. Now I know what you're thinking. I can't afford these people. So let me be clear, you don't need to hire them as full-time staff. But paying an attorney or a CPA a few $100s for an hour or 2 of their time before you set up your business is likely to save you thousands of dollars later. So don't hesitate to hire some help along the way. I have found it worth every penny. Question of the day. What strategies have you used to expand your financial comfort zone to take your financial, business, or other goal achievement to a whole new level? Special thanks to Hyder College of Business at Creighton University for helping sponsor this channel. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe. And hey, make sure to check out the show notes below for links and resources that can help you. See you next time.